Welcome to the No BS Zone with Brooke and Shirley, where we dish out tips and tricks on business mindset and wealth development and wealth creation. Like I stated before and promised, we were going to be back to give you some goodness on all those three areas. Brooke, hello and welcome back, girl.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. I wish you could see my smiling face smiling at you. I see you. But yeah, I moved, sorry for the delay. I moved from Texas to California, and I know we have paused a little bit, but what really ignited us was me and Shirley. We were listening to, I think it was a Bloomberg Wealth, and we read all these articles. And there was something that was stated, do you know that women live longer, but we make less, which we knew that, but we need to learn to invest differently. And it caused us to start speaking about, what is it called? It's like the wealth transfer where there's
Called,
trillions of dollars.
yeah, it's called the Great Wealth Transfer. So, yeah.
So do you want to
So,
elaborate on that a little bit and then we can jump in?
and definitely that was an interview with the CEO of Elevest, and she was talking about that in the next couple of years, as you know, the baby boomers was the generation that really built its wealth. But as you can see now, baby boomers, a lot of are passing away, mainly men, because as Brooke stated, women tend to live 6 to 8 years long. And so that means that we need to learn how to invest differently and really learn how to invest, because we're going to depart this beautiful earth and we're going to leave, our assets and wealth to our children. And so we were asking ourselves, so why aren't more women investing? What's going on that only, and I have some statistic here. It says that 32% of women say that they don't invest because they have fear of losing their money. And that stems back to, financial literacy, right? Or not having the right mentor. But we're here to say that, women are projected to inherit trillions and trillions of dollars.
Video. Love you.
Yeah, they're gonna inherit trillions and trillions of dollars. And so how are we gonna go about doing that? Another astonishing study that I saw was that only 14% of women, and this is by Fidelity, say that they are well versed in savings and investing. Only 14% are well versed. And so that really perplexed me as to what is going on, right now, in our environment that's not lending for women wanting to learn more on how to build their wealth, right, Brooke?
And see, and that's the thing is that women, and she made this statement that resonated with me. Women, as we're growing up, we're taught how to be perfect and how to run the household and be the good cook and take care of the kids and manage the household expenses. And men are being taught how to be brave. They're being taught how to be risky and how to invest their money. Hence why we have this huge wealth transfer. And when Ellevest and some of the female financial advisors, which this company is 80% female, they're educating the women. They are just beyond comprehension on, they don't know what to do. They've only been managing their checkbook. And it goes back to where women really we need to control our financials. We need to invest more, because what happens when we rely completely on our spouse or our partner is that now you're kind of lost. And I've had this happen in our own family when somebody is passed, and whether they didn't know how to drive, they didn't know how to manage the expenses, and now they kind of feel like they're dead in the water and they have all this money and they don't know what to do with it. So as females, we need to be part of communities of female investors and entrepreneurs and business, because investing is a business, regardless if you're running it you're in stock markets, you're in storage, you're in triple net, you're a multifamily, you're a house flipper, etc. And one thing that women, because we are so trained to be risk adverse, we are taught to penny pinch, right? And I
Yeah.
think there's a book and it's called Buy the Effing Latte, or Buy the Effing Roses, okay? And it's where
Yes.
men and will buy a 6-pack of beer, not think twice, or go buy a fishing rod and go fishing with their boys and drop money. It's just, we're not educated. And so what me and Shirley hope to do is through our education, we had to pay for our investing education,
Yes.
and so we're hoping to pay that forward to everybody, because when women are investors, we're more into philanthropy. We do
Mhm.
not donate to charities, we change our communities, we give back on a bigger level than men do. And I want to say that it was approximately 19% per every, what was it, 7 or 8% of women or men, I'm sorry, that are wealthy actually contribute on a bigger scale. So I would love to hear your perspective on that, because it's a known fact that when women hold economic power and we are wealthy, we literally change the world, starting with our own backyards and our communities. Has that not been your
Absolutely.
experience, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's proven fact that we make impacts in our communities when we have more money, right? And so that's why, for me, I know I made it a journey and an invested journey into my financial literacy. I remember one time I was actually deployed to Afghanistan years ago, and I was shooting the shit, and pardon my French, with the guys, and they were talking about the investments that they had, and I am here, and I was talking to one of my buddies. I'm like, I have this amount of money, and I don't even know what to do with it. And he was like, Shirley, what? Are you kidding me? A guy was telling me this. He's like, first and foremost, why do you have that type of money just sitting there? You know what I'm saying? And it really opened my mind to, my goodness, how can I not know what I worked so hard in a combat environment where I just have the money sitting there and not even know what to do with it? And really, that's when I started being more curious as to how I was going to distribute these funds into avenues that would, augment, my money, would do a compounding interest. And that's when I kind of came also into, high yield savings. That was kind of the first step that I made in my journey. And then, of course, money markets, CDs, depending on how much they were going to make. And that was my what I call, quote unquote, traditional investing. And then that's when I started learning now about real estate and how it's great, and it's proven time and time and again historically that it's a hedge against inflation. Right now, the best way to invest is through, real estate, right now that we are having high inflation, because, right now we're living in a renter's nation, because guess what? A lot of people can't afford a mortgage or buy a home. So they're renting out. They are going to be paying their rent, hopefully, but 9 times out of 10, they will. And so that's how I am, positioning myself to, do the compounding interest with my money, and then just keep doing the same thing. And that, that way I know that in a couple of years, I'm going to have a good nest egg to live off by and to actually enjoy my life, right? So we're future thinkers. That's another thing. Women are future forward thinkers, right? And those are the things that really concern them in life. And that's why we're here, me and Brooke, to lessen those concerns, to ease those concerns with education for you all, to learn how to better manage your money, or how to tap into alternative assets that will bring you that wealth creation in your life, right, Brooke?
110%. And I'm so glad you touched on the high yield savings accounts and real estate and different ways to get started, and the money networks, or the all of the things, because I want to give you guys a few sources to get started. So NerdWallet just put out a couple weeks ago the top paying high yield savings account plans. So instead of having your money just sitting in a bank, not making 0.01%, which is crazy talk, you can put it into Discover. I know my Goldman Sachs is paying, I think, 4.25%. Some are paying 5.15%, but some of the higher paying ones require a minimum, on there. So go to NerdWallet's website, allow it to actually give you some form of return, okay? And then start also educating yourself on investing. Tony Robbins just released a book as well this year. I want to say January, February this year, about just different investing aspects and what you should be putting your hands on, whether it's startups. I'm an investor in Koya, Koia, and I started it through the WeFunder app, and that's WEFUNDR, which allows you to invest in startups with as little as $100, and you can find things that you're passionate about. So the point, you guys, is first thing you need to do is educate yourself based off your current situation. Go to NerdWallet, see if you can put some money in a high yield savings account so it's not sitting there not making money. It's free. Look for something. If you have an iPhone and you have the Apple credit card, it
Mhm.
takes 30 seconds to set up a HYSA, which is linked to Goldman Sachs since they own that card. And then boom, your money's just making money for you on an annual basis, anywhere from 4 to 5%, instead of sitting there doing nothing. Two, start reading things. All of us want to pay less than taxes. So read the real estate investment books. Like I mentioned, Tony Robbins has that book, right? I know Grant Cardone has the Millionaire Booklet. Whatever
Rod
speaks to you. There's lots of
Cleave.
free, yeah, Rod
Yeah,
Khalid, there's free podcasts as well. And then start taking action. If you want to make an impact, and you want to invest in startups, go to the WeFunder app or their website. And for as little as $100, find something you're passionate about. So
absolutely.
yeah.
So one of the other things that helped or is helping me and Brooke out is that we were very intentional about going into the communities that are like-minded and that are also investing intelligently, whether it is on all the resources that we just mentioned or real estate, because that's also where you're going to meet other people that you can soak up information, right? People that know more than you or have been in the game longer than you can, connect with them. They can show you, the ropes in a way. There's also, and there's a lot of groups in your area that I'm sure that you all can connect with, and you can look them up on either Eventbrite or even Meetup. In Meetup, there's a slew of investor groups that meet up on a weekly basis or on the weekends just to kind of exchange information. One more resource that I wanted to provide that is great. I'm looking into, and I'm actually doing it, but SOFI is a bank. It's an online bank, and what I love about them is that you can accrue high yields through opening a checking account as well as savings. So you're double tapping in there. The only stipulation there is that if you're employed, your employment check needs to go to that bank. But imagine that, your money is still working for you, whether you have it in a checking account or a savings account through SoFi. So that's a really great idea as well.
And it goes back, and I'm glad we both have provided alternate sources. And I think part of it too is having goals. So when
Yeah.
Shirley and I were talking about this, when her and I were looking into this, like what women are more motivated to be goal-based investors. So we want to buy a home, we want to start a business, we want to retire, we want to put our kids through college, and we want to invest to make an impact, things that resonate with us. And one of my excellent friends, and I just had lunch with her the other day, big shout out to Cecilia Casio. She was able to put her kids in college by buying a house,
Wow.
staying it for a few years, getting that equity, selling it, put that kid through college, bought another house, sold it. And they were living in it because the tax laws and stuff usually require you have to live in it for a while, whatever. I'm not a CPA, but I know enough to be dangerous. And because she had that goal to put her kids through college, she was motivated to take action. So think about what you want long term. Are you a mom? Do you want to get out of the 9 to 5 rat race? What is something that you're passionate about? Because this is a business. Investing is a business. Your goals are a business. And go back and reverse things, or think of reverse engineer your goals and start taking small daily steps now, and what can get you there faster. So as Shirley has alluded to, it's going to be a community. It's going to be high yield savings account. I love that SOFI gives you those returns on a checking and a savings. I didn't know that. I thought that was only savings. So that's excellent intel. So learn what you want, take the action, setting up the high yield savings accounts. Those are free. Educate yourself, and then start showing up where people are at and learn what they are doing. And so because me and Shirley, it's been like a slow grind, and we're paying money to be in mentorship. She's showing up where people are at. We want all of the women, because women change the world and we make an impact. We want you to start taking action and know what your goal is, because then you will come up with a plan, and you're going to write it down, and then you're going to start doing it and add it to your calendar, add it to your vision board, set an alarm, and remind yourself, because you are worth your investment. Nobody's going to take care of you other than you. Okay. So start taking action on this.
Absolutely. And know that we're here to support you. We are here to support you. I mean, we've developed different resources and ebooks just to educate you, whether it's multifamily or all those other resources that we were talking about in creating wealth or compounding interest for sure. You can definitely DM us on the side and just put the word wealth or money there, and we'll definitely send it to you. Just know that you have a supporting system here with us, because that is how we've been able to push forward, right? We have each other's backs. We're with other communities that provide us the resource and the information that we need to make educated guesses, right? No more fear, okay? No more fear of losing your money, because fear will stagnate you into nothing. It's worse than you actually taking the leap of faith and seeing your money flourish through educated approaches, and people such as myself and Brooke and others that can help you in clarifying a lot of those doubts that you have. But it starts with you. It starts with you being curious, with wanting to educate yourself, because right now we're living in a world where there's a lot of uncertainty, right? And after COVID, a lot of people are starting to think outside of the box. They want to create their own economy, right? And how do you do that? There's so many ways to do that. We can help you with that. They want to retire earlier. They don't want to live, through 70 years old, like, for example, my father did, and then couldn't even enjoy his retirement because not even 2 years later, he suddenly passed away. And he worked more than 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Being loyal to a system that, as soon as he passed away, my stepmother couldn't even get anything, right? So we have to start thinking outside of the box. We need to take the reins and control over our lives, right? And create these opportunities for ourselves. But you don't have to do it alone. We're here for you and with you.
And I love that. And there's so much value in community. And I want to share something that Shirley had shared with me. And for whatever reason, even though I know money can be a stressor, but it can also bring out the best in you to be able to provide, help to other people that you're passionate about. She pulled an article, Shirley did, What Money Means to Women from Forbes. And the number one source of stress was money. And it made them feel isolated, lonely, confused, fear. They don't want the burden of thinking about life insurance, bills, retirement. They said it's a success, it's a failure, it's a control, it's a love and a hate. It ruins a marriage and embraces a marriage. In the end, money is everything and nothing, And she mentioned Shirley's it continues. Although women share secrets about beauty, work, their sex life, they don't typically talk about money.
Mm-mm.
And when I saw this from Shirley, I was kind of like, man, it was just eye-opening. And I don't know about for you, Shirley, but I kind of grew up from very humble beginnings, kind of in the muck a little bit. And I just got to a point where I was fed up And I told myself I will never go back to that, nor will my kids. And I'm wondering if you feel the same way when people feel that it's, lack of control, they have love, hate, it stresses, they don't want to think about money. What made you take control? Like, what was your pivotal point that you're like, man, I need to invest? Because I have women in my network that are in their 50s and 60s. They get a bunch of money and they give it to a man. They don't even want to deal with it. Like, I feel we
Yeah,
have to
well,
have a pivotal.
yeah, because we're afraid, right? We're afraid that we don't know enough. I even read another article that women are so afraid to even ask questions because they think that they're going to sound stupid about investing and how to deal with their money. And we need to get out of our own way. First and foremost, I'm just like you, Brooke. I grew up in not so ideal environment. I mean, I think I told you once that it's unbelievable living in the United States, how I grew up, and then having your Con Edison at the time cut your light off and not have light in the United States, just because I grew up in an environment where lack was the mindset. Lack and just money coming in, money coming out, money coming in. There was no way of knowing or having that education on how to build the wealth and how to work hard for your money. I mean, and I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. So uh, I needed a change of environment. That's another thing. You got to change your environment. You got to be with the people that are thinking higher and have a higher vibration. And that's what happened to me joining the military. Then after that, working hard, deploying, not knowing if I was going to come back alive or not, jumping out of airplanes, training, getting hurt, injured. Enough, enough, right? So all of that is to say that going through the shit, right? I was able to, and it's the
Yeah.
truth. Going through that, I was able to accumulate, money, right? And then I knew that in my psyche, I didn't want to live like crap, like how I grew up. And even if I would decide to have kids, I'm not gonna put my kids through that. So I was always very conscious as a young soldier, as a young 19-year-old, to open a savings account and to get part of that money into that savings. And every time I deployed and got, a good amount of money back from the deployment, because you do make pretty good money, I was intentional about putting that and stacking that in a compounding interest venue, so that now that I'm retiring, not knowing what the heck I wanted to do when I grow up, right? Coming into a new environment that I didn't know because I was in a bubble, I needed something to fall back on and keep building wealth. And so I think that my fear of not wanting to live like how I grew up really catapulted me and motivated me to keep wanting to educate myself, to grow my wealth, because I deserve that and I've worked hard for it. And that's why me and Brooke are so passionate about helping other women with that, because we know that a lot of women come across those uncertainties in their lives, and how they're going to pay for their baby food, or how are they going to provide for their families, right? We can be that venue for you all because we know how it is. We've been through the shit, right? So we know how to navigate those rough waters.
And no woman should ever, or man, but women, let's keep it real. We kind of take on the bulk of the child caring, and caring of others in our household. You should never have to choose, do I buy formula or diapers for my baby, or do I decide to put food on the table, keep the lights on? That's so disturbing. That's so upsetting. And you should never have to decide on that. And that's where it takes for us to change our mindset about money, that get out of the scarcity mindset. Money is a currency. It is meant to be spent and for it to come back to you. And for us, that's why we're in real estate. And that's why I tell people all facets of real estate are going to help propel your wealth. So for me and Shirley, not only are we passive investors in multifamily, where you can get quarterly disbursements, and eventually in 3 to 5 years when they refi or sell, now we're going to get double, if not more figures. And we're going to take that money and compound it. We might take 15, 20% out for us because we need to live too. And we want to travel and we want to be able to live our life. But majority of that should be reinvested and compounding. And then I have,
Absolutely.
triple net. And then I just signed up for, now I'm doing house flipping, which some people are like, dang, you're in for multifamily triple net. I go, because I don't want to go back to corporate because I now see that I can run my day, but
Yeah.
it's still real estate. And now I can take that money from house flipping and buy more multifamily and wipe out taxes, because multifamily buying apartments is great for wiping out taxes. Triple net is excellent for cash flow from day one. Storage, when you buy storage or invest with people who you trust with storage, you're not getting cash flow, but you're getting a lot of money faster, usually within a couple of years. So
Mhm.
diversify, get into real estate, create a business, show up to meetups. It's free. Put your money in a high yield savings account. Me and Shirley try to constantly be consistent in our personal socials, along with the Crack the Wealth Code socials, to show you where we're at and show you where the events we're going to, and the hopes to inspire you to just show up, because a lot of these events are free. Just
Yeah.
show up, show your face. Our she brunches. I know she's hosted stuff for the veterans in Florida because she's out of Tampa, Florida. I'm now in Dallas, Texas. So show up even when you don't want to, because I can tell you, whether it's the gym or being in a community, even when I don't want to show up is when it makes the most impact and when I
For
make the
sure.
have the best conversations.
Yeah, no, and it's so great, that you are investing in fix and flips. You're learning. You don't want to go back to corporate, so
No,
you have to figure it out. There are ways to figure it out, people. It's not like she just all of a sudden, oh, I'm just gonna do flip. No, she's with
no,
a community of people that are hands
right.
holding her and really giving her some good nuggets to actually do a flip, and that's a great turnaround.
Yes,
Why? Because it's going to put money in her pocket. What is she going to do with that money? She's going to invest that money, right? She's going to pay
correct.
herself first, of course, but then she's going to reinvest the money. For me, taking the leap of faith, I have how much money people are sitting in equity? You can use the equity of your home. Definitely do your homework. I'm not a CPA, but understand the market, understand the rates, but see the equity that you have in your home, and you can do a plethora of things. And that allowed me to actually invest out of the United States in this beautiful, beautiful apartment in front of the beach that I know that I'm going to convert into an Airbnb. I've done the numbers. It's going to have some good return on investment. Guess what? The building itself hasn't even been finished being built, and it's already up 40% on value. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You can't make this
It's
up.
it's crazy. It's crazy, but as women, we're looking ahead. We're futuristic. So utilize that to think ahead of alternative ways of investing for sure. And girl, I'll let you conclude this live because I know we're a little over, but I hope that a lot of people got a lot of little golden nuggets from us. This is what we love to do. We're very passionate about helping specifically women that probably feel that they don't have any options or alternative ways. We can be that venue for you to provide you with the resources and knowledge that you need to really thrive in this flourishing economy. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities popping up now, and we want you to take advantage of that.
110%. So bottom line, everybody, one, educate yourself, listen to the podcasts, listen anything with investing, get a high yield savings account. Shirley mentioned SOFI, excellent online bank. Go to nerdwallet.com. They just posted out top high yield savings accounts. I believe SOFI was one of them. Start showing up at meetups and Eventbrite. Go to the apps, look at local real estate meetups, multifamily investing meetups, and start being around the people and start getting inspired because the conversations are different. So, and we're so grateful that you spent your time with us today. Do not hesitate to reach out to either one of us, and we're more than happy to help you out in any way, shape we can. So
Absolutely.
cheers.
Yeah, DM us for our ebooks on all the things that we talked about today.
Yes.
DM us wealth, and we'll definitely send that ebook off to you guys with love. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. We're gonna be here next Tuesday, same place, same time, 2:30 Eastern and 1:30 Central. Correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The no BS zone, the no bullshit zone, y'all. Give it to you straight.
For sure.
And you can
All
send
right.
us
Love you
questions.
guys. Love you, Brooke. See you later,
Bye.
love. Bye.
Besos y brazos, y'all.